Hello, welcome to our very first Vocation for Life Business Cheerleaders and Business Mentors Conference. I am live streaming this, and the reason I'm doing that is because quite a few people are not able to make it. They are not able to make it because of other commitments. So I thought rather than reschedule the meeting, I can come to you and just do a live event so that even for the sake of those who are not able to join in an actual Zoom event, they will be able to engage in, just go onto YouTube and be part of this. Now, Vocation for Life is the name of my company. I set up a company, and primarily I wanted to create a platform, a hub where people who are feeling this calling to do something, even if those particular things have not got a job label to it. I wanted to set up something that accommodates such people and their passion to make the world a better place. And what better platform than to use a business platform? So I just noticed that until now I haven't been looking into the camera, so I have to get used to this. Now, so the company was set up on August the 13th this year, so that was just last month. And today I want to also say something about what business cheerleading and business mentorship, where these two words, these two terminology come into play. So let's assume you have a project in mind, something that you would like to see come to fruition. Could be a business, it could be a non-profit organization, whatever it is, something that you would want to bring into being, okay, fully developed for. And initially, it's a thought that comes to you. You probably realize that you're very gifted or talented, or you have a passion for an area of service provision, or you like doing something which keeps you focused and gives you the sense of fulfillment. Now that is where I am coming from. That in all cases, a vocation begins with the individual who is wanting to do something. That's what it is. It begins with the individual who is wanting to do something. Now, for a lot of people, they dream about it, they daydream about it, they probably look for somebody who has done something similar, and they just become fans of that person. So for example, a wannabe musician would then go and follow successful artists or other artists who are up and coming, and the ultimate is not to become a follower of that particular artist, but the ultimate is because they have within themselves something similar, a similar thing they would like to do or to become. So vocation begins with us. Now the next thing is we then try to try out that idea. We then try to test the idea with uh, maybe close family, friends. Usually you might see if there's a couple, you sort of bounce that idea off the other person just to see what kind of response you get. For some people, the response isn't very positive, and so that is just enough to kill the desire they have to do something different, to accomplish something. For some people, the response is positive, um, and so they take it to the next level and they try to um, outdoor this desire they have, this passion they have. They try to showcase it to other people outside their immediate circle. Now, whatever the case, whether the initial response you have is positive or is negative, there is another factor that comes to play. And that is a factor which I would want to address. And that is a factor which is got nothing to do with what your admirers or the people who think the world of you. It's got nothing to do with what they say or what they perceive. And it's got nothing to do with those who are dismissive of you either. Now that factor, which I'm getting to learn more and more about, but initially it occurred to me in the late 90s, 1998. Okay, so what's that factor? That's intrinsic factor. It is that factor that makes us all authentic, unique individuals. Our uniqueness. So when I started this company, I didn't just start it because I felt I was able to provide a service. I didn't just start it because I felt that having worked in a particular industry, I would then be able to do something that I had an advantage in doing something, providing a service. That wasn't the only reason why I went ahead. And that is, I'm saying this so that you could just link this to the name I have chosen for my company. Well, I started this Vocation for Life aware that John Williamson, that is me, I have got something of intrinsic value. I am a unique individual. I have been creator endowed with certain abilities, certain aptitudes, certain talents that are unique to me and are not exclusive. What I mean is, I am not exclusive in this factor, in this authentic factor, in this intrinsic factor. I am not exclusive. There are other people, everybody has been created with this uniqueness, with this authenticity, with this factor. For me, the discovery came quite late in life. I think 1998 was when I first made that discovery, and that was age 31. So we're talking a good 22 years ago. Sorry, I got my maths wrong. It's not a good 22 years ago. Yes, it is actually. It is a good 22 years ago. Yeah, that's when I made that discovery. And I was 31 when I made that discovery. That each individual has got something unique to them, something intrinsic, of intrinsic value, that they are creator endowed with. So now, let's get back to this whole thing about Vocation for Life. Remember I said I was going to say something about business cheerleaders and business mentors. Now, I did also mention to you that when you have everything begins with the passion, the urge, the desire to do something out of the norm, and some of that may not have a job label to it. Okay, and usually we run that by our close family and friends, people in our close circle, and depending on their response to us, whether it's negative or it's positive, we decide to go to the next stage of showcasing it. So let me just talk about my part, Vocation for Life. In 1998, I discovered that I had a certain ability of um, just inspiring people. Motivation was one factor, inspiring people to be a better version of themselves. And I wasn't that rabble rousing kind of speaker. That wasn't how I went about the inspiration. But it was more a case of drip, drop, constant reminding people, helping echo to them their better version of themselves. Let me just say this again. I discovered that I had a certain ability of inspiring people to be their better version of themselves. And it wasn't through just very fiery, passionate, inspiring words from a speaker's forum. It was more in terms of how I related with people. My inspiration, my ability to inspire people, to bring the best out of people was more of a nurturing kind. I had a unique pastoral gifting for doing that. And the more I studied that, the more I realized that when I focused on doing that, when I focused on team building, when I focused on individual selection and team building, I had the ability to inspire such loyalty, inspire such potential in people, and often members of my team then went on and excelled in different fields. And this phenomena had been being part of me for as long as I can remember, but I had never acknowledged this phenomena. I had never put it to good use. I had never affirmed it, self-affirmed this, until in 2005 I went to the field of medical recruitment. And that is when I had the opportunity, because of the job I did, of working on a consistent basis with office colleagues and also with clinical, specifically nurses. And during this period, I had the opportunity of having regular feedback from people, regular feedback, and I witnessed this at work, this phenomena at work, that I could inspire people, I could motivate them, and I could do that by keeping a nurturing relationship with them. Now, did this have a marketable skill? Well, it did not give me a big pay rise, I need to add, because a lot of what I'm describing is usually what people employ in the non-profit and the charitable sector. People who do that are either chaplains, people who have this gifting I've just described, are either chaplains, are either clergymen, or are people who work in the healthcare industry, nurses and placement people, self-sacrificing teachers, people who have the kind of temperament, the kind of personality, the kind of ability to just pour into people, just invest into people, and inspire people. And they are not usually well remunerated financially. And so, even though I had made this discovery, it did not make too much of a change in my financial circumstances. And I'm getting to the point of business cheerleaders and business mentors. And so when we come in the next session, that is what I'm going to be talking about. So just stay with me. I'm just going to pause this, and then we'll come back shortly. Thank you. Okay, I had tried to record some of that in Zoom, and I've just started that recording. So it's a cherished, what is a dream? A dream is a cherished aspiration, and I'm getting this definition from the internet. A dream is a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. I fulfilled a childhood dream when I became a champion. You cherish it, you aspire, you have the ambition to achieve something, or ideal. So there are three markers to this. So let's say the past, or what you are coming out of. Obviously, what you're coming out of is not ideal, because if it were ideal, you wouldn't be wanting something better. Ideal does not mean it's unpleasant. Ideal means it doesn't do it for you anymore. It doesn't satisfy. It doesn't fulfill you anymore. So that is what you're coming out of. Now the second marker is the present, the moment. Now if you're spending your moment wanting something better, rather than settling it and staying with what you have, that also is another thing. So that's another marker that you are going forward. And then we've got the ideal. So that's the end state. That's the destination. That's the dream. So that is what I mean by bringing your dreams to fruition. So the process of dreaming, which is a cherished aspiration, ambition, or ideal. The process of dreaming is not a passive experience. It's not something that you just sit back and just fantasize and just are caught in your irrational fear, thinking, oh my goodness, there's nothing I can do that. No, that's not dreaming. Dreaming is an active word. Dreaming is something that you aspire, something that you are ambitious about, something that you keep working at until you get the ideal. That is the true sense of dreaming. And so when I came to medical recruitment in the mid 2000, so when I came in 2005, and I watched the result of my interaction within my job role, I watched how I had this ability to inspire people. I watched how I had this ability to help people improve themselves. I realized that although my job was required staff development, I was more into people development, not just staff development. I was into making people the better version of themselves. And I thought, that isn't something an employer is necessarily prepared to pay for. They like that, but nobody goes out and say, look, I want somebody who will be a people developer. And so I think that was what the seed was planted in my heart to set up Vocation for Life Foundation. But at the time, not Vocation for Life Foundation. Vocation for Life Foundation would be the charitable bit, and we are not there yet. But Vocation for Life Consultancy Services Limited. That was when that dream was born in my heart. So now I'll come back to that in another recording. But what I want to say now is about business cheerleaders. So who is a cheerleader? Now, if you've ever watched American sports, okay, you know of cheerleaders. Okay, so cheerleading, this is the definition from the internet. Cheerleading is an activity in which the participants cheer for their team as a form of encouragement. It can, so they cheer for their team. So participants identify with a team and then they want to encourage, so they cheer the person on. And usually the cheer comes in when the person is in a very, very, should I say, difficult stage, and they kind of look like they are about to give up or they are worn out. They cheer them on. But it also happens when they are at the stage where they are about to uh, bring the cup home. They're about to win. So they cheer them on to finish the good work that they have started. It can range from chanting slogans to intense physical activity. It can be performed to, so this is the chanting bit, cheerleading. So there is a sound that has to be made when it comes to cheerleading. And obviously when it comes to the term business cheerleaders, I've got some people that are called business cheerleaders. Now, I hear from them a lot. They send a liner, they send sound bites, they say, look, you're doing well, they send emojis, they say, look, come on. They are cheerleaders because they are encouraging, they are providing a form of encouragement. Okay, so sometimes cheerleaders also provide entertainment. So when the atmosphere is stressful, cheerleaders could say, let's go out for a meal, let's go out, let's do something, just take a break. That's cheerleading. Now, what about mentoring? So mentoring, what does the internet say about mentor? So it says an experienced and trusted advisor. He was her friend and mentor until his death. Now that's the noun. The verb, the process of how to mentor, advise or train someone, especially a younger colleague. Okay, so we've got an experienced and trusted advisor who is a mentor. We all need an experienced and trusted advisor who is a mentor. And we all have to, at some stage, participate in mentoring because we all have got something to offer. So today, I am just setting the scene for what is ahead. What are my aspirations with Vocation for Life? So with Vocation for Life, I hope to be involved in people development. And the industry that I have started with is the healthcare industry. And I'm making inroads in the nursing home and the residential home sector. So I want to start with those who have got a nursing registration. So you have got a nursing registration and you want to make a difference in the residential home, care home sector, an area that people have to use. They need that because there are elderly relatives who at some stage cannot look after themselves and they need to be, they are then sent to a nursing home or a residential home or a long-term care facility. In that long-term care facility, if it's a nursing home, they have 24-hour nursing care. So you have registered nurses who provide that nursing care. Now, not a lot of people are aware that nursing homes are not just about toileting and turning people, pressure area care, etc. If our nursing homes, most of the nursing homes I have become acquainted with are actually a different place than were in decades ago. And so in nursing homes, you have such opportunity of meeting people, in a more relaxed environment, almost homely environment. Now, obviously, there are places like where most of the residents are in need of dementia care, and even that, the opportunities for learning about the human brain, it's amazing. So there are prospects for having the multidisciplinary exposure. And to some degree, you might be working in the NHS on a hospital ward and not get the opportunity to interact with members of the multidisciplinary setting as you would in a nursing home. So for people who are wanting to further their education, for their continued professional development, that actually could be a very great opportunity for you. And so my thing is, I want to help people see the most shiny side of nursing homes and residential homes. So that's one factor of it. Now the other factor is I'm interested in healthcare assistance. So you're probably wanting to look after somebody who is in need of care. Maybe you've looked after an elderly relative and you thought, I've got this caring side to me. Or maybe you have children, maybe late in their late teens and school leavers, and they have got a lot of time on their hand, and you want to expose them to the finer side of things. They expose them to a caring profession. Working in a nursing home is one way of starting. And I'm not going to be able to go into details about how to get into the nursing home career. But I would, and for that you can contact me later. But this is one industry that I am choosing to make a difference, to make a mark there. And it's part of my dream that the people that I encounter, the people that I work with, the people that work with me, because I'm going to be recruiting staff as well, that I can inspire them. I can now use my aptitudes, my skills to inspire them, and vice versa. So that is where business cheerleading, business mentoring comes from, because I would be like a cheerleader for them. I'll be like a mentor to some people, and also I have people that would be providing the same for me. Now, just finally, I just want to make another point. So I'm aware that people are not going to want to just see working as a nurse or as a healthcare assistant for Vocation for Life as an end in itself. I'm aware of that. Who would want to consider the ultimate goal, the ultimate dream to be working with me, for me, or especially when I'm a business that started last month? So this is the point I want to make. The point I want to make is, because of my years of experience in the medical recruitment sector, in the healthcare industry, I am actually have had the opportunity to be linked with others in the industry. And so when you come and work with me, when you join forces with me, when you and I become part of a team, you will be potentially introduced to a network, a wider network of people. And that is what I want you to think about. And if you have any questions for me about future careers in the healthcare sector, where I can be of assistance, of support, I want you to know that this is more about creating a platform, a network where we can share mutual ideas. And I look forward to hearing from you. And with this video clip is going to be, sorry, with this live stream and the recording is going to be some information about how we can get in touch with each other and make this work. So on that note, I am going to just conclude this session, and thank you very much for tuning in. Wish you all the best, and you take care. Thank you. So, um, for our purposes, thank you for joining me in this Zoom session. We've had a two-session Zoom meeting to just go through all the issues with Vocation for Life Foundation. I keep saying foundation, but Vocation for Life Consultancy Services Limited. There is going to be a foundation, but not quite yet. And so I want to say thank you very much for being a part of this today. And there are going to be more live streams, and there are going to be more sessions like this. So the next one is in October, and I will give you the date. Just bear with me. I think it's October the 10th. It's the second Saturday of the month of October, and yes, October the 10th. It'll be the time might vary slightly because I'm trying to get some input from a good friend and family friend who is a diplomat. So thank you so much, and all the best for the rest of the week. Bye bye.